Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Entitled Parents. In today's episode we're going to be looking at some interesting stories, so let's jump straight into it. The first story is called EP Thinks I Can Reopen 2 Hours After Closing for EB. This story is by AliExware. Let's get it straight into it, guys. EP, Entitled Parent. EB, Entitled Brat. So I work a job at a holiday resort and I teach archery to mainly children, so of course I encounter some EPs. So let me share this story. I'm at work and we close at 5 PM as we work outside, and after that, our main demographic, young children, start to get tired and go to bed. This EM sees me taking arrows out of the targets and shouts, "Is this place open?" I respond saying that it isn't and apologized. And when I turn around, this old lady has come up past the safety ropes and walked about 30 yards into the shooting range in order to tell me that her precious angel is going home tomorrow. I tell her that we had shut 2 hours ago and it was far too late to reopen. Most of the kit was packed and sent to storage. EM then starts telling me that EB gets straight A's and I should be rewarding her. Naturally, as an A+ student myself, I congratulated the kid and gave him a gold star for working so hard. We had them to encourage kids. I then told EM that she needed to leave the shooting range before my boss saw her. EM then created a scene causing my co-worker, a very intimidating looking guy in his 20s, to escort EM out. When I finish collecting arrows, EM is shouting at my co-worker and I step in at that point as the co-worker is getting annoyed. "Listen, miss, just because you believe the world revolves around you doesn't mean it actually does." Not my proudest moment, but hey, I was annoyed. At this point, EM pulls a typical Karen, "May I speak to your manager?" This line was absolutely hilarious to me, as my manager was on the top of the 20-foot rock climbing wall that you can only accessible by climbing. Enjoy the climb. EM storms off shouting and screaming with EB dragging behind her screaming. Just another day at work. This story is called "I'm Calling the Cops, You Assaulted My Son." But we're in a boxing match? This story is by B Smith 117810. Let's get straight into it. So a little backstory. I'm a pretty young boxer and had a few fights so far. Now for those who don't know, you want your mum's support, but do not want her in your actual corner. I trained my backside off for these fights, so obviously no amount of money could make me throw them. Fast forward to the match. EM is entitled mum, B is her son, and me is me. The bell rings and he refused to touch my gloves, so I'm already thinking I want to destroy this person. A minute into the first, I drop him with a left hook to the liver. His mum is screaming at the top of her lungs to kill him, knock his head off. I can already tell that EM is an entitled parent, so I smirk and wait for B to get to his feet. The round resumes and he's swinging wildly, only to be dodged and countered. Same shot, same spot, on the liver, and I throw one powerful overhang right shot. He drops flat out cold and EM was annoyed, as the ref raises my hands and she's screaming at me saying how her son deserved to win. I walked out of the ring, and while I was walking away, the EM with her B come up to me. "EM, you assaulted my son and I'm going to have you arrested." Me, I don't know what to say. You were here watching. This is called boxing. The EM actually goes to slap me and I grab her hand. She screamed rape and B stepped in front of me. He stared at me before trying to swing back. Keep in mind, I literally just knocked this guy out. I slip and counter with, you guessed it, liver shot. He drops and I push EM out of the way and went home and celebrated the win with my trainer, my team and my family. I look back at this and laugh, but honestly, how dumb can you be? Boxing is a combat sport. I think that should be obvious to everyone, but I guess there's no limit when it comes to entitled parents. This story is called EP Pours Bleach on My Skin Cause of My Skin Condition. This story is by Rockethead YT. Let's get straight into it, guys. So this happened 5 weeks ago and I'm still recovering, and my girlfriend and family is fine with this being up on here. So I have a skin condition called eczema. It is where the skin gets too dry and sometimes swells up depending on what I eat and depending on the weather. My GF is fine with my skin condition as long as the rash is not too severe. Cast. Me, find out yourself. GF, girlfriend. EP, entitled parents. NK, nice kid. ND, nice dad. It was my birthday at the time, and I was hanging out with my family and my girlfriend on a sunny day, and my parents decided to invite some friends over for the day. I see my best friend, nice dad, entitled parent. I met the entitled parent a few times, but she hated why I had eczema during a conversation. Note that my skin was very sore and very red, so I stayed inside to avoid my skin being too hot. I told my girlfriend that I was going to stay inside, and she was fine with that, and she gave my company. When my family and friends were over at my place, I was worried that entitled parent might do something about my skin condition, since her husband is a doctor. She tried to pour boiling hot water on my skin, so I went to see if NF was there, but EP and NK appeared. I questioned where ND and EP said that ND had come in the last minute to do stuff. I head outside with EP and NK. NK is 13 years old. I play with my little brother, 12 years old. And EK asked me why I didn't go out. I gave her a valid reason and still wanted me to go out. I went out for 10-15 minutes and then went back in to get some stuff for NK. This is where things get serious. I call my GF to help me with the stuff for NK, and EP told her if she wants to help, she is welcome to. EP said that she needed to take a break because her arms were tired, and I allowed it. I was wrong. A few minutes after, I took a break because my skin started to hurt a little from stretching my arms. Then EP goes downstairs into the mudroom and grabs a bottle. I thought she had gotten a bottle of water, but EP happens to grab a bottle of bleach. EP comes upstairs, opens the bottle, and purposely pours the bleach on my skin, where there were small openings in the skin and where it was still red. I was in so much pain that I started to sob. GF, what the hell was that for? He's in so much pain. EP, oh, I thought it would make him better. GF, what made you think pouring bleach on his skin would make him feel better? His skin is burning. At this point, me and my girlfriend were pissed. My GF drove me to the hospital and took me to the ER. After being checked up by the doctor, my GF called my parents and called the cops too. Once my parents arrived, EP, NK, and ND arrived too. ND works at the hospital. EP told the cops that she happened to pick up the wrong bottle and accidentally poured it on me. At this point, I wanted to beat the living hell out of her. Me and my GF told the cops everything that happened, and I said that I would like to press charges. ND arrives with his co-worker and happens to see his wife cuffed up. He questioned why she was cuffed up, and I told the whole story. ND gave me a prescription cream to help treat my wounds, and he told my GF to look after me, which was nice. I pressed charges and have a court date next week or so. I hope EP serves more than a year in jail. If you're wondering, my arms still hurt a bit, but they're still recovering and treating myself with the cream. This story is called Entitled Dad Wants Me to Date Him. This story is by Golden Avenue. Let's get straight into it. It started at McDonald's. I was sitting eating a good old cheeseburger. I'm not the prettiest 23-year-old woman you've seen, so I rarely get attention, which is kind of nice. I enjoy not worrying about being hit on. But that day was different. As stated, I was eating a burger and fries. A cute little girl walks up to me and said she liked my t-shirt, and then she says, "My daddy said you could come be my new mummy." I'm taken back by this. The dude's probably around my age. Not bad looking, but I'm not looking to date. I tell her thank you, and I think of course she's probably joking, so I didn't pay much attention to it. Then he comes near me and says, "Can I have your number?" I respond no, that I'm sorry but not looking to date. Entitled Dad rages and says, "Why not? You're ugly anyway. I just chose you because my daughter thought you were pretty. I thought homely looking girls were nice." I laugh and just eat my cheeseburger and tell him he's not the prettiest either. The little girl starts crying because she's upset by the fight, and the manager came by and told him to leave me alone, and I got 2 free cheeseburgers. This story is called A-Hole Dean Gives Me a Panic Attack, then changes his words. This story is by Autistic Cynic. Let's get straight into it. So at my school, there is a dean whose son and daughter go to the school. Because they are his kids, he lets them get away with anything less than murder. Now, the son isn't a problem. He's a nice kid who doesn't abuse his immunity. The daughter, on the other hand, our EK is a total piece of work. So, a bit of backstory. I'd been in class when EK had started throwing small things at me. Pencils, half-used erasers, I don't really care. She then lobs her entire pencil box at me. It was one of those plastic and metal ones, so it hurt. I stood up in class, turned around and screams, "What the hell is wrong with you, EK?" The teacher, not wanting a fight in his classroom, sent us both down to the office, where we meet EP, the Dean. We call him AD. A-hole Dean. AD, so why are you two down here? Me, well, I was AD. I didn't ask you, sir. He did, but okay. EP, putting on the waterworks. He was mean to me, daddy. He was yelling, so I threw a pencil in self-defense. Keep in mind, this is 10th grade. She's acting like my 8-year-old brother. AD, okay, now for your side. Me, all class she was throwing pencils, and eventually she got mad that I wasn't reacting, and threw her entire metal and plastic pencil case at the back of my head. I showed him the welt. AD, well, we all know you're autistic, so you probably hit yourself with your uncontrollable rage. I have PDA, which gives me anxiety and social awkwardness, but that's literally it. EK, yeah. Why aren't you in special education, you tard? The AD ignored this comment, naturally. Me, excuse me? I'm not some bed-bound vegetable that doesn't know my ass from my ears. I can understand what you're saying, you fat... I do have anger issues, and I know I shouldn't have said any of that, but when I get pissed, you better watch the hell out, cause I'm not at your wheel anymore. AD, well, if that's how you feel, then I'm gonna have to suspend you for 2 weeks. Please note that this was last year, just before winter break, aka exam season. He was going to suspend me during exams, so I would end up failing all of my classes. At this point, I don't even remember what happened. I ran out of the room, found a quiet dark place, and just cried for roughly 2 hours in the storage room because of complete anxiety meltdown. Think Fukushima or Chernobyl type meltdown. From here on out, this is what I was told. My parents were cold, and when they found out what he said for me, they were mad. My mum walked in there and was yelling at him for, and I quote, mentally abusing my disabled child by triggering his anxiety, as well as daring to call him a tard, and suspending him without no, it will make him miss his exams. He immediately tried to cover his behind by saying that he had only said 2 days, and I must have misheard him. Due to school policy, during meetings between staff and students, a running tape recorder must be placed in the room. He was inching his hands towards it, and was trying to hit the eject button when my mother snatched it, hit rewind, and while he was still trying to grab it from my mother, she hit play. If that's how you feel, then I'm going to have to suspend you for 2 weeks. He goes white as a sheet, and my mother took the tape out, gave him the empty tape recorder, grabbed me, dragged me out. I was given the rest of the day off. My panic attack. I have the kind where I keep contracting my muscles until it start to hurt and I'm compacting into a ball. I don't know what will become of the tape, or if anything will, or already has happened because of it.